Hello, my name is Isaac Messer. Today I'm going to be presenting my Auton Planner for my Python final project. To start out, I'm just going to do a little bit of chit-chatting about the program itself, what its purpose is, and kind of just a general introduction of the program. The purpose of this program is to create a Auton path planner in which someone can plot 2 points on a image of sorts of which would be the game playing field, and it will basically tell them the coordinates of those 2 points, and they can continually creating like a basically a whole chain of routes, so that then they could take those and then basically be able to make an autonomous out of it. So this is an autonomous planner. It doesn't autonomously make a planner. So not to get that too confused, it's an Auton planner. Anyway, starting off here at the top of the code. In order to do this, we're using a GUI, which is a graphics user interface. We are using Tinker for that whole thing to work. We're using both this, which is just your standard Tinker, and then we're also importing a photo image for a couple of PNG files that we're using for the fields. When we at the top of this program, we're just basically setting up the main menu to essentially appear, and that's just using this root and stuff to do it, and we have it named as Autonomous Planner. Oh, decided to skip on me. It's doing some weird stuff. Anyways, after that, we start creating the two widgets that are used within this program. The first of the two widgets is going to be this lovely canvas widget. The canvas widget is it's used for plotting points in this program, and basically it's like it could be used for drawing or it could be used for graphing. We're kind of using it for a little bit of both. You'll kind of see what I mean in a minute. And then this other widget here is for the button frame, which is essentially just the buttons for the program to run. So it creates a separate frame in which it works from, so that the canvas and the buttons are separate and they can freely kind of like it helps manage it all basically. Well, also that canvas that I was just talking about, it has a width and height menu. Those are just set to 540. That's about the size of field. I'm not 100% sure what the measurement of that is, but that is what the program seems to work with. Then we move on to the global stuff for all the functions and stuff. And these are just basically just variables that have everything added to them. A lot of them are set to none. That's just for the start of the program. And we got a couple of arrays here. Actually, this one's a bit of dead code that I forgot to get rid of. Oops. Anyways, moving on. We start off with the new point, which, yeah, we'll start here. So the new point part of the code here is used for essentially plotting the points onto the field. So we start off, so we have this per here for ratios and stuff, and that's for a little bit later down this same code. But basically, we take the X and Y points, and it tracks that when you click it. And actually, this section here, this guy right here, is what actually creates that oval, which is just a circle because we're using radius of 5, and we're just setting that for the X and Y axes. And we're setting it to blue because blue is cool. Adding after that, we want to actually show the text for that like coordinate. So it's just set to where it's just a little bit out of the way using this guy right here. And then the actual printed coordinate is printed here with text. And it's filled in with black to make it a little bit more distinguishable from the oval, which is created. And now with this program, we also wanted to make it to where it chains together. So like there's a line that connects between 2 points. So in order to do that, we're using this little neat piece of an if statement over here, where if the last point here, which is one of the variables that I mentioned earlier, it'll take that, and basically if it's not none, it then will create a line between the previous point in which you previously plotted and the point that you just plotted. And that's essentially what this does. And it does blue just that way it kind of matches the same color of the point. And then it returns an X and Y value. Now we get on to the a little bit interesting part of this program. One of the big goals with this program I really wanted it to have was the ability to have two separate kind of like fields that you could choose from. The reason for that is that within the VEX robotics program, there is both a match play setting and then there's also a skills run setting. With matches, it's a 1v1 match in VexU, and basically it's two robots versus two robots, two of the robots on one team, two of the robots on the other team, and they go up against each other. And there's an autonomous period. You score as many points as possible to essentially earn an auton bonus. For skills, it is a bit different. It is just the one team on the field, and their mission is to score as many points as possible in a minute. And for autons, it is completely autonomous, no human interaction. Anyways, talking a little bit more about the program itself here. Basically, again, we have, so this is where the global comes in handy, where we can actually like do image label and stuff. And basically, so what we start off with is that we first clear the whole board so this here clears all the points on the field, so that way none of them are there. That's just that way if you're working on multiple projects in a row and you're swapping between the two, it doesn't keep old data. And then it loads up the data. It loads up the file here, which is a PNG file. This is the only, pretty much like one of the few spots where photo image is used. It's pretty much, as far as I know of, a translator to essentially translate this to where the Tinker program can actually load it into the whole program. And I'll show that in a minute. And then after that, if the image label is none, it will destroy whatever's in it. So image label gets stuff sent to it, which I believe is like points on the field. And then those points, well, it is points on the field. It is points on the field, and basically it destroys it when it gets done. And then down here is where it actually loads in that image and actually places it where the canvas is, as you can see right here. And it's the same thing for skills, except the only difference is that it is for skills instead of match play. The two files are unfortunately a slightly different size. That is a problem with this current version of the program. It will probably be fixed in future versions. Moving along, we're getting to the bottom of the program here now. We have the button layout. This button layout is used to, it's just two buttons. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. It's two buttons. One is set field match and one is set field skills. They're both set to black. And this command over here is what sets it to their corresponding functions. So we have one for set field match and set field skills. Pretty simple functions. We're using Apache here to essentially kind of separate them out a little bit more evenly and makes it just look a little nicer. And then we have the column and rows for determining where these guys kind of go. Similar to the widgets from earlier, and actually these are widgets just within that grid system. Down here at the bottom, we have the last button, which is more of just a mouse click button. And essentially, so this wrapper here translates all the data between this and the, where is it? The plot point. It's puts it between those two, and it allows transferring data pretty easily. And then we have this is the last guy that's pretty important. It's basically just sets the button and it tells it to go to this function, which then tells it to go to this function. Then from this function, it goes to another function. There's probably better ways of doing that. Might look into that in the future, actually. And then this last piece is just the main loop. It's essentially the loop for the whole program to run correctly. With a little bit of time left, I'm going to actually show the program. So if I click this run button, loads up this lovely menu here. And I have these two buttons here. I can either set field match or set field skills. I'm going to choose set field match. Now it actually loads up this PNG file. And just to show that it works switching, it can switch. which is pretty cool. And when I click here, I can start my first point and it gives me the coordinates. Those coordinates are in inches with X and Y, and they're set to work with the program that we use for VexU. And then I can set another point and it'll tell me the coordinates for that. Essentially, that's what it does. It tells you the coordinates of where it is on the field and where the robot needs to go. It's a really neat program in my opinion. I think it'll be quite useful, at least for me and for anyone that may use this in the future. So yeah, that's everything for this program. Um, hope you all have a great day and see ya.